Now let's move on to the speech contest of Year 4. Contestant number 1. Good evening, respected principal, vice principals, teachers, parents, and my dear friends. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what it would be like to live out there? Among the stars, planets, and galaxies. Well, today, I want to take you on a little journey. Imagine if I lived in outer space. How would my day look like? First of all, let's talk about mornings. No alarm clocks needed. I'd wake up to the most amazing view ever. Instead of sunlight peeking through my window, I'd see the earth outside my curtains. A beautiful blue and green ball floating in space. No trees, no birds chirping, but the silence of the stars. But waking up in outer space isn't like waking up on Earth. In outer space, there's no gravity. So instead of sitting up in bed, I just float up. That's right. I'd literally rise out of my sleeping bag, which would be stuck to the wall, so I don't drift away during the night. Next up is brushing my teeth. Sounds simple, right? But not in space. In outer space, I'd have to use specialized toothpaste that I can swallow, and water would come out in tiny floating bubbles. I'd catch them with my toothbrush and carefully scrub my teeth, all while floating in mid-air. Breakfast would be another adventure. No cereal and milk here, unless I want floating cereal everywhere. Instead, I need food from specialized food packets. Maybe scrambled eggs or fruit puree. Everything would have to be eaten carefully so it doesn't float around and mess the spaceship. After breakfast, it's time for work. Because even in outer space, we don't get holidays every day. As an astronaut, I'd spend my time doing experiments in the lab, checking the spaceship system, or maybe even growing tiny plants. Scientists are trying to grow food in outer space, so who knows? Maybe one day I'll be watering space potatoes. Here's a fun fact. In space, the space station orbits Earth so fast that I'd see about 16 sunrises and sunsets in one day. So I could say good morning and good night over and over again. Finally, when I feel tired, or at least when I feel tired, I zip myself back into my sleeping bag and drift off to sleep while watching the stars. No need for a night lamp. The universe would be glowing all around me. So, if we lived in outer space, my day would be full of fun, floating, science, and stargazing. It would be very different from life on Earth. But one thing is for sure, I'd never be bored up there. Thank you for listening, and I hope one day everyone will get to live in space. Over and out from future astronaut Rafa. Thank you.
Imagine with me for a moment, what if I lived in space? Have you ever stopped to wonder, what would it really be like to live up there? What if, instead of gazing up at the planets from the safety of Earth, I could one day drift among them, living among the planets, floating in the vast infinite blackness, where my respectable judges, teachers, and my dear friends, get ready, because I am about to take you on the most epic journey ever, straight into outer space. First, picture this. You wake up, and instead of rolling over like you do on Earth, boom, You're floating. Not like a regular, oops, I rolled out of bed. No. In space it's more like, wait a minute, whoosh. I'm floating in the air and I have no idea which way is up. You may try to sit up, but gravity is like, nah, you're good. Just float. Suddenly, you're flying through the air like a human balloon. Welcome to the best morning ever. Now, what's breakfast like in space? Well, it's weird. In the best way possible. Forget your normal plate of cereal. No, in space you eat from floating pouches that are like magical snack bags. You open one and it's a surprise every time. Maybe pancakes, maybe space burritos, or if you're lucky, a floating block of mashed potatoes. You don't even need a fork. You just suck the food into your mouth like it's on a roller coaster. No mess, no fuss. But be warned, there's probably a pancake trying to escape somewhere. Man, I'll find it later. Now, it's time for some space breakfast. You hop on a treadmill. Oh wait, there's no gravity. So instead of running in one place, you bounce off the walls like a human pinball. You may try to run straight, but then whoops, you're flying into the ceiling. You may try to catch your balance, and then bang, you're in a different room. It's like the coolest video game ever. Zero gravity is the best workout though. So many accidental somersaults. Wait, what's this? Here comes the ultimate adventure, a spacewalk. You put on your ultra-cool spacesuit. It looks way better than anything you'll ever wear. Trust me. And now you're outside the spaceship. The stars are like huge shiny diamonds floating all around you. And Earth is this tiny little low marble floating peacefully beneath you. You can even grab a comet and ride it like a surfboard. Who needs a skateboard when you've got the Milky Way? Totally normal Tuesday, right? Now, let's take a break. But honestly, who needs a break in space when you've got space unicorns just casually floating by? Yep, you heard me. Space unicorns. One even winks at you like, hey, this is just my daily commute. What's wrong with it? You try to high-five one, but it disappears into a puff of stardust. Typical unicorns. Now, after all that craziness, it's time to wind down. But of course, in space you don't just flop onto it. No, instead you slip inside your zero-gravity cocoon. You can't just lay down in space because there's no gravity to make that happen. So instead, you snuggle into your floating bed and hope that you don't float into your snack stash again. Because in space, everything floats, including your dreams. So when you close your eyes and drift off to sleep, it's like the universe is giving you a big cosmic hug. Now that, my friends, could be my day in space. It's wild, it's ridiculous, it's the best thing that could ever happen to you. Before I wrap up, let me drop in an inspirational quote. I believe that the long-term future of the human race must be in space. This was once said by Stephen Hawking, the great astrophysicist who believed in space from the start. Thanks for hanging out in space with me. And next time you're bored, just look up. The stars might be waiting for you to come and join the fun. Thank you.
Contestant number 3. Good evening, respectable judges, teachers, and all present here. Today, I want to take you on a journey. Imagine what a day would look like if you lived in space. Imagine waking up every morning in a place where the horizon is a breathtaking canvas of stars, where Earth is just a vibrant blue marble in the distance. Welcome to life in space. As my eyes flutter open, I'm greeted by the soft glow of the spacecraft's control panel. There is no sunrise here. Instead, I experience 16 sunrises and sunsets every day as I orbit the Earth. Floating out of my sleeping bag, I navigate the zero-gravity environment, pushing off the walls gently to glide towards the galaxy.
Eating in microgravity is an adventure in itself. Food can float away if I'm not careful. I struck my meal down and relished the flavors, all while watching the earth rotate beneath me. Throughout the day, I check in with the mission control, communicating with scientists and engineers back on Earth. This connection is vital. It reminds me that while I'm far from home, I'm part of something much larger, a global effort to explore the universe. As I float from module to module, I take a moment to gaze out of the window. The view is nothing short of breathtaking. I see continents, shimmering oceans, and the beautiful swirling cloud formations that dance across Earth's atmosphere. From up here, our planet looks peaceful, vibrant, and alive. After a busy day of work, it's time for some workouts. Staying fit in space is crucial, so I hop on a treadmill. Yes, even in zero gravity, I strap myself in to make sure I don't float away. This daily routine keeps my body strong and healthy, preparing me for when I return to Earth's gravity. Finally, I prepare for sleep. I crawl into my sleeping bag, secured to the walls to prevent drifting. With the stars shining outside, I drift off knowing that tomorrow will bring new challenges and discoveries. In conclusion, living in space is an extraordinary experience. It's a life that requires adaptability, curiosity, and a sense of wonder. It's a life that demands adaptability, teamwork, and courage every single day. It's not just about living in space. It's about pushing the boundaries of human knowledge, about exploring the unknown. So the future generation can dream bigger, go further, and achieve more. The work is challenging, but the view of the universe, something we can only dream about on Earth, is an awe-inspiring reminder of just how vast and beautiful space truly is. Thank you for joining me along on this brief journey through a day in space. Contestant number 4.
Good evening, respectable judges, parents, teachers, and my dear friends. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in outer space? Well, I am Jasina Nalawangsa, and today I am going to take you on an adventure among the stars. One day, it was a long, tiring day at my school. I had math, history, running for PE, learning about galaxies in science, and loads of homework. My feet were tired and my brain was tired. So when I got home, I dropped my bag and quick wash, laid down to close my eyes just for a minute. And suddenly, whoa! I was inside a rocket. The engine started rumbling. I heard a countdown. 3, 2, 1, blast off! My rocket zoomed into the sky, up through the clouds, and all the way to space. I glanced around, looked out from the window, and wow! There it is! Earth, the beautiful blue and pink planet spinning slowly in the darkness. I could see the oceans shimmering like glass, the clouds swirling like cotton candy, and the land looking like huge, gigantic puzzle pieces. The stars around seemed to be twinkling just for me, and everything was so quiet and peaceful. First, I floated around in zero gravity. It felt like swimming in the air. I could do flips and somersaults without even trying. didn't have a normal fridge or oven. Instead, I had special space food that were in tiny little packets. My space cereal floated in the air and I had to catch it with my spoon. I drank some space juice with a space straw and it sparkled and changed its color. No matter how I floated around, the juice never spilled due to the absence of gravity. It was like magic. After I had a good meal, I put on my spacesuit. It was shiny and cool, like a superhero costume that helps me breathe in space. Then I zoomed out to explore the galaxy. My spaceship was super fast. My first stop was the moon. The ground was grey and dusty, and I could bounce up and down like a bunny. I left my footprint in the moon dust and collected some shiny moon rock. Afterwards, I continued my journey in space. I waved at the red planet Mars, floated past giant Jupiter with its great red spot, and even to Saturn's beautiful rings. They looked like a giant hula hoop. I was amazed by how big and colorful space is, and along the way, I even met some friendly aliens. Can you guess what else I saw? A space school with a real teacher and children like to learn with zero gravity. They were studying about stars, planets, and even how to speak alien languages. It was so cool to see them. Finally, after a long day of fun, I crept into my sleeping bag and strapped to the wall so I don't float away and fell asleep. And then suddenly, I heard a voice. It was my mom calling out to me. Wake up, Jacina. It's time to eat. And just like that, I was back at home in Earth on my cozy little bed. I smiled and thought, maybe one day I'll go to space for real. It was amazing when I think of my dream. It felt so real. It made me feel brave, curious, and excited to learn more. And it even represents the ultimate adventure, a journey into the unknown that promises discovery, growth, and a deeper connection to our universe. In conclusion, if I lived in outer space, my day would be out of the world, full of floating, flying, learning in space school, exploring, and fun. It would be full of surprises, but definitely a challenge every day. Thank you and keep dreaming. Contestant number 5. Good evening, everyone. I'm Zain Zuruki, an astronaut ready to zoom off to space. Wait, would you like to join an experience in space? But before I hop in, I need to check if I have everything I need. By the way, what does an astronaut need to survive in space? An astronaut needs a helmet with a gold visor to protect their eyes from the strong sunlight. They also need a backpack called a life support system, which carries oxygen for breathing and water for cooling and maintaining body temperature. My food and water are already on their way to my destination, so I don't need to carry them with me. Great! Now I have all I need. So come on, buckle up and let's get going. Now our rocket is going at a speed of 17,500 kilometers per hour. This is the limited speed a rocket can go. If it goes faster than that, it will burn up. Right now we have landed on the ISS, the International Space Station. This is where my colleagues and I work. This machine orbits the Earth. Astronauts inside work, sleep and eat. Talking about eating, I'm really hungry. So how about a large meal? Now you might be wondering, what does an astronaut eat? In space, we recommend not having juice or water in cups as the liquid may float out of them. The drink is usually sucked through a straw. As
astronauts don't eat crumbly food like bread or biscuits because the crumbs float around annoyingly. We eat beef, mashed potatoes, and spaghetti. So, in space, being weightless can give you stuffy noses, so stronger flavors taste better. Okay, how about exercising? Well, what do I do to exercise myself? I can't just run around the ISS because there's no gravity to pull me down. And weights won't work either as the weights are light as feathers. Instead, I push or pull against strong springs. My space exercise bike doesn't have a saddle, so a harness keeps me in place and my feet clip onto the pedals. I'm sweaty now, so I need a bath. The water won't just run out of a tap or stay in a bath. The water turns into balls of liquid and float around. So instead of taking a shower, I wash myself with a soapy cloth and dry it in a towel. Now I need to do EVA, extravehicular activity. EVA is a spacewalk. This is when astronauts put on the spacesuits to work outside the space station. We have to install new equipment and fix repairs. So I guess it's high time you go back to Earth, come back another day. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.